These two Americanos may look the same, but one of them tastes way better than the other. That's pretty good. Oh, shit. In this video, I'll show you 4 ways that any home barista can drastically improve their Americanos at a cost of $0. Well, almost $0. One of them is we'll get to it, no spoilers. The first thing you can do to improve your Americanos is improve your espresso recipe of choice. One of the distinctive things about espresso is that it's a concentrate, which makes it great for milk drinks or drinking straight if you just need to feel something for once. If you're making an Americano though, that sucker's gonna end up watered down in the end anyway. So if you're a dedicated Americano enjoyer, you can make your life way easier by pulling higher ratio shots. The less concentrated your shots are, the easier it gets to produce consistent extractions. Even going from something like a classic 1 to 1.5 shot up to a 1 to 3 shot will considerably improve the consistency of your extractions, and since you're going to be adding water on top later anyway, there's basically 0 drawbacks. I'm not going to force you to pull a 1 to 6 soup shot just to save a step, but that's an option if you're brave enough. The second thing you can do helps with the first one, and I've recommended it here multiple times before. Use paper filters. This is another case where a departure from the established norms of espresso makes perfect sense in the context of Americanos. Paper filters do 3 things for us. 1, they'll reduce the messiness that can sometimes be caused by the high flow rates of high ratio shots. And 2, they promote more even flow towards the bottom of the puck. But the biggest thing they do is help filter out solids. An Americano is bridging the gap between espresso and filter coffee. Adding a paper filter brings us to a more flattering part of that spectrum. You'll get a cleaner mouthfeel and a bit less of that lingering bitterness that those solids were previously bringing to our Americanos. Technically, this tip does cost money, but at about 8 cents per shot, I don't think you're gonna feel it in your wallet. And in terms of flex per dollar, an $8 Weber Workshop accessory in your workflow, it's kinda hard to beat, just saying. If you've got any 58mm espresso machine, like this Luca M58 Sunto for instance, it's a no-brainer to keep some of these on hand. To the espresso traditionalists out there, this third tip is going to be a little controversial, but to them I say, just try it. Remove the crema. There's a lot of mythology and romance around crema. It's pretty, it tells you the coffee's fresh, but it does nothing positive for the flavor of your espresso. But the crema itself sort of does become a positive once you remove it. Crema is formed by the combination of pressure, water, coffee stuff, and off-gassing CO2. The thing that crema is secretly good for is collecting and trapping the tiny coffee solids that we don't want to drink. By removing the crema, we're using the worst thing about it to do good, making our Americanos smoother and cleaner. The easiest way to do this is just to scoop it right off the top with a spoon. If you're willing to not be neurotic and leave a little bit behind, sometimes I have to remind myself that's allowed, then it takes just a couple seconds. If you're a crema defender and you're trying to strangle me through the screen right now, just try it, man. You'll get clearer flavors out of your coffee and you won't regret it. Plus, you can't do that through the internet. Our fourth tip might be the most impactful and most frequently overlooked. Heat your water separately. Credit where credit's due, James Hoffman affirmed and bolstered my biases on this in a recent video. The water from your espresso machine steam boiler is just suboptimal for your Americanos. For one, it's just too hot. The water is boiling, if you couldn't tell. That means your Americano is probably going to be too hot to drink, but it also means that the water has the potential to obliterate some of the tasty but volatile compounds in our coffee. We worked hard for those. Second, your steam boiler has a tendency to concentrate minerals. After all, the water is boiling away and steam is being released, but the minerals are staying behind unless you fully purge your steam boiler. Some minerals can be good for the flavor of your coffee, but there's a reason we're not out here recommending you brew your espresso with Topo Chico or something. All of this is only really relevant if your espresso machine steam boiler has the capacity to fill your cup, which it may not. Heating your water separately in a kettle solves all of these problems by allowing you to control the temperature and by avoiding high mineral content. I usually just turn on my electric kettle at about 195 before I go to pull my shot, and then it's ready by the time I need it. Hoffman also put forward one slightly weirder option for heating your water, steaming it, using the steam wand. It's ridiculous enough, but he also insisted that it produced better tasting Americanos than using water from the kettle, so I had to try it. First, and maybe obviously, it does work and it will get your water up to temperature very quickly. On a powerful dual boiler like the Sunto, your water will be up to temp in just a few seconds. If you don't have a kettle or don't want to add another piece of equipment into your routine, that alone makes this a pretty great solution. When it comes to flavor, I didn't run a blind test or anything, but inexplicably, it does seem to produce slightly better tasting Americanos. I've had multiple people confirm this. I'm betting on dissolved air being the culprit here, but I'm told that we don't have a $100,000 lab equipment budget, so I can't quite solve that problem yet. I'll just wait for Chris Hendon to do it. So, that muddy, scalding hot, disappointing Americano you used to get from the coffee shop does not represent the full potential of this often overlooked beverage. So, with just a couple extra steps and maybe an 8-cent investment, you can make the kind of Americanos that will make your espresso machine proud. For more espresso tips and experiments, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.